Welcome to the Active Hobo. My name is David Jenkins. This is the place you come if you want to hear stories, because stories matter. And today's story is going to be centered around Shaun Glover.
Yo.
I had to do it. Glover. Red Cherry Events founder. Got loads of cool stuff we're going to talk about today. I am going to do my level best and not just skip to the end and go deep into the gravel and mountain bike events that you guys have got going on, because I'm frothing to talk about some of those. Shaun, I'd love to understand how you landed up navigating this business through COVID and many other challenges.
Yeah.
I have the world of respect for anyone that's able to get it to this point, so I'm very eager to understand that. But I suppose more importantly, what the heck got you to the point that you loved cycling so much you started an eventing company? So if you'd please run us through a short intro. And
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Dave. I mean, yeah. So I think founder is probably not the right word. It's a family business. My dad started this business many years ago. It was never in the Western Cape. It was never doing the events it's doing now. It was always doing motorcycle stuff, one or two small events in the Eastern Cape. He had started PE Plet by then, but most of the other stuff wasn't really existent then. He had a TV company he was running at the time up in Joburg, and he was quite keen on the whole events and event management company to bring to PE. And then I joined in 2019, but we didn't have half the stuff that we have now. Joined in 2019. I thought, okay, cool, 2019, let's go. Let's try get this thing running. I'm still very young, don't know what's kind of happening. Had an all right year 2019, and then obviously we all know 2020, the whole lights went out for all the industries. I mean, at that time we had, or Shame he did at least, he had a restaurant in PE, had a guest house, had a conference center, all these things which just required, and an events company, Red Cherry, which all required people to kind of be around. And so all of that went quiet for a good 18 months. And to not try and skip ahead too much, as you kind of just said, now we really went into a whole mode of just massive recovery during that time, or just actually just trying to stay alive really. So it was, you can imagine a year and a half of absolutely zero income coming in. You're basically working completely for free now. You've had to dismantle your entire team. I'm watching my dad age by the day, because I wasn't old enough really to understand I'm only 30 now, so I joined when I was 23. I wasn't really old enough to kind of understand the actual impact of what are overheads, what are salaries, what are all of these people that are so dependent on this business. Wasn't really old enough to understand that, and we kept most of the staff on, which I didn't really understand. Obviously, built up a massive amount of debt, just trying to stay alive, not trying to just say, okay, liquidate, close up. All those who had entered events, sorry, we can't deliver. Managed to kind of keep it going, but it really became scrappy. And I tell people not that we're super successful now, we're doing a lot of other things now, but without that sort of push and without that need to be okay, Shaun, yes, it's your dad clearly isn't going to be the one to turn this around. Now he's 65. This is literally killing him. He aged 10 years in a month. So okay, cool. We need to step up here and really make this thing something, because it's for you, it's for your family, and everybody was kind of reliant on it, which became this real thing of, okay, we are urgent now. We need to really, this thing has to work. It cannot. There's no plan B. This must work. And I think that really kind of gave us a bit of an edge, because now we're doing well. We've got a beautiful team here in Cape Town. We're 4 guys who are full time on the marketing space. Also in ops, we've got a team in PE handling our whole warehouse there, because warehouse space is cheaper in PE. And then really expanding into some new markets in Cape Town. Not just doing eventing business at the moment, but also doing content creation, running socials for other brands as well, running other events for other event companies and other charities that do all these drivers, working with other companies, so I'm riding the Epic this year for a whole charity initiative, beautiful project. So I really had to then also kind of take the business that we had and see, okay, cool, this is what we've got, and how can we make this better, and how can we move so far from that point of 2019, 2020 and future-proof ourselves fully for the next 20 years. And what does that look like, and where can we go? Even just driving here, I was really thinking I do not have enough time in this world right now to do everything that I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like fun stuff. It's like business stuff, like
Yeah.
like projects that I'm just like I'm so keen on so much, and they're just like I'm only 30, but I literally on the next 50 years is going to be chaos, and I'm so excited, but also kind of nervous. But and I think we're just so privileged that we're now at a point where we can like do these cool things. I can come and be on a cool podcast for 2 hours a day and not need to worry about, I need to bring some revenue today. It's such a blessing to have this opportunity and be in the space. So yeah, that's kind of like how I got into Red Cherry. I run it now. My dad is still involved, not as much as he was in the past. He lives in Plate. He's like semi-retired, but if you ever meet him, you'll kind of realize that he can never retire.
Yeah.
He's Mull, he's ADD, he's flat out. So it's been a beautiful journey. One thing I wouldn't have changed anything for the world. I think COVID has taught us lessons that if we didn't have COVID, we probably wouldn't be close to where we are right now. We wouldn't have had that urgency to like, we need to succeed and make this happen.
Sounds like it was a pivotal moment for you to shift gears.
Yeah. And then also step up. I think I was...
That responsibility is a big shift.
Yeah, I was like a lighty who, and not to say that we were like well off, but like we were comfortable. I didn't need to like stress, like, there's money coming in, we're going to be fine. But then when you're chatting to your father and you see him like crying multiple times in a week, you're like, oof,
It's hard.
Must be bad. And that's a hard thing to, but without that, I don't think I would have tried to level up the way that we had, not to try and blow my own horn or anything. But I wouldn't have had the urgency.
Own
no
the
ways.
wins. Have you ever read any books around second and third generation businesses? Just like anecdotal stats around them, or have you ever?
No, not too much.
Do yourself a favor and go have a look. There's this big business in Joburg, used to be called Andrew Mentis. Like you going up the highway, you just check these factories that like never end, huge, and it's like goes like deep, and it's got all the different product names on. It's like industrial stuff, and it's Andrew Mentis, and they had always owned the billboard there. Anyway, long story short, one day through the agency, we end up getting a meeting there. They want to rebuild their site and they want to own the landscape for all the different things that they do. And got chatting to the then Andrew Mentis, the third. So it's one of those, like everyone gets named.
Oh wow, everyone's Andrew.
Yeah. And Andrew Mentis was the father's name. That was where the business came
Saving
from.
money on the parking signs, probably.
First, second, third. And he had gone to whatever, it might be Oxford or Harvard, I can't recall, but he had spent a lot of time researching and understanding the pitfalls, because third generation is like, second generation is tough, third it's like the success rate is like single percentage.
Oh, really?
It's just, I mean, and if you think
you
logically
can
about it, what happens is that whole thing about tough times create strong men, strong men create good times, creates weak, that whole thing.
Yes.
I mean, if you, growing up in Joburg, you see it. We called it the Benoni starter pack. Like, guy leaves school, goes and gets some random BA degree, BCom, whatever, that literally never means anything to the person or the paper it's written on. From there goes into the dad's business, gets a GTR, gets married, has 2 kids, 3-bedroom house, and like it was standard issue. And very, very few of them, it's this lap of luxury. And that works for a while because dad normally stays involved, or mom for that matter. They keep that entrepreneurial energy and going into it, but there's never that critical handover moment where, it's not handing over decision making, it's responsibility. It's where the weight, and I use the word intentionally, the weight of responsibility shifts onto the next adult, because that is, a business owner will know it is weight. It crushes you. I feel it every day of my life. Like it doesn't matter how successful you think you are, that pressure just sits there. And
it's like when is the sky going to fall?
Yes. And anyway, it was one of the most, I was young at the time. Our business is 13 years old. And I'm glad that I met him then, because it's like the lessons that sit beyond that. And it's like structures, it's processes. And it led me to a couple other books. Anyway, it's interesting to go and look into. It's
cool.
It's a legacy you can be really proud if you're the one that champions and creates it. And the legacy isn't one of this company that has this product. The legacy is a work ethos, it's values, it's a way of doing things, it's showing respect for responsibility, staff, and it's a really beautiful thing to go and delve into. random detour, but
No, but like I can see that parallel that you can draw between that, yeah, and I mean, and I probably not that we've made it now or anything, but like if we didn't have the whole COVID lockdown, I probably would have been part of those stats of, because I was fucking chilling, man. I was, this is chill, daddy's business, it's a styling.
Yeah.
Where you got money, I don't know what's going on, but I'm sure it's good. Who knows? and then next thing you see like, oh, crisis.
Yeah,
so
you
you're
wanna
not
see your
great.
dad
And then
crying.
you've got like, and then I mean, I studied accounting, so then you've, and the event business is quite an interesting business. Like often, like I tell people, like we're the richest people when we aren't doing events. But as soon as you've got an event on, then you're poor.
Yeah.
Then you're paying everything. And I mean, so like how it works in accounting, you get paid in advance for an event. You enter the August cycle tour, it's in March, whatever. You pay them now, in Jan, they sit on your money for 2 months. So you are a liability for them. They owe you an event when the time comes. And you've paid them,
No worries.
and you have now paid them in advance. We got to a point where it was like, I think our latent liability was at something, and I mean these aren't massive numbers for big corporates or whatever, but it was probably at like something like 3 million rand, and we had debt of about 2 million. So it means we had taken all the money we had been given, we had spent all of it, and we had 2 million we owed Standard Bank.
Scary.
And then you still need to
Pressure cooker.
like run events, and then your margin is getting charred because you've got all this interest that you're paying on these loans.
Shut.
So yes, now you need to be so scrappy and so good at what you're doing to be able to get to this, it's like claw back a bit.
Yeah. This was in the
the last
in the lows.
4 years, yeah.
Okay.
This was 2021
And
to
that's what you build out
basically
of.
last year, yeah. To
So
basically the beginning of last
what
year.
is that's worst case scenario. What is a good scenario looks like? And the reason I asked that, there was recently the closure of, what was that events company? They had
Stillwater.
no, is it DeVille? No. They had
yes.
my favorite stage race. They had that road one, man.
The Bulan Tour.
They had that as well.
Yes, it was. It's Peter van Wyk from Wellington, and the other guy's name was De Toy something.
Yeah,
I don't know his
they
name.
had a couple.
They had the
really,
Val de
really-
Vie expedition, that mountain bike race. That the Tour of Boerland.
What was that 3-day tour, man? It's like my favorite race, and I can't remember the name of
Tour
it.
of Good Hope.
It was rebranded
The
to
Boerland Tour.
Tour de Cap.
Tour de Cap.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Reichardt, one of our
Yeah.
videographers, he actually entered that, and I was like, that company's no longer there. It's like, what happens now? It's like, well, nothing. You just lose your events, and it's like everyone kind of just like, oh, well, that sucked.
Yeah.
No one actually knows like what actually happens. What recourse do you have, if any, and all these what ifs. So I didn't preempt any of these questions, but it would actually be very interesting to understand. One, I suppose, practically for a consumer, if something like that happens, like what can you do, if anything? But like, what is positive now? What does a good event look like? What does a profitable, well-run event look like?
I think so because you're a company, okay, you have to have more than one event going at one time. Like we're selling, I think, 10 events at the moment. So we've got 10 events for sale that entries are selling for. All different genres of sports, like whether it's motorbiking, it's cycling, it's basically just motorbiking and cycling actually, but like all different markets. Like some are competitive, some are not so competitive, some are for the older market, some are for the younger market. But ideally you want to be in a position where every single rand you've received, you have exactly that same value on hand in your bank. So your latent liability, it's called, the money that you owe equals at least what you have in your bank account. So if you need to cancel that event right now, you can refund everyone in full and not have to take out a loan. I mean, and we were like so far from that, from that perspective. And now we've managed to pay off all of our debt. We've clawed our way back up a bit. We're pretty close to that like 1-to-1 ratio where if we needed to pay out, we can. And hopefully we don't have to. Hopefully there's no force majeure. There's no more COVID. There's no more big things that are cancelling events nationwide. And hopefully that wouldn't happen for a while. But I mean, I think like the ideal position that you can be in for an event is obviously to be like the Orbea Epic, where the event finishes on the Sunday, you open entries on the Monday, you sell 52 million rand of entries on the Monday, and you sit on that money for a year. at
Making
7%
the
interest
Yeah.
for a year, and then you host the next event, and then you pay your suppliers 90 days after the event.
Okay, so that's
you-
utopia.
So you're actually sitting on like 2 years of entries before you've paid the suppliers.
Great. Is
So-
that how it works? Is that kind of?
I don't work for Epic. But I know some of their suppliers get paid a bit later. I'm sure some of them get paid beforehand, and they've got massive expenses, no doubt. But they've got lots of money sitting on hand before earning interest.
Oh, well,
So-
Iron Man didn't buy it because it's not profitable.
Exactly, yeah, 100%. And I mean, there's shareholder value there, so there's a listed share price, but I'm not on their books. But I do know that they will only pay some suppliers after the event, and you can just kind of look at it like they open entries the Monday after, even if they get all the money in on the Monday, and so they've got the money. That's obvious. That's like
And that's the
common
big
news.
thing, cash flow.
Yeah, 100%.
It's obviously the major,
That's the
other
major
than
driver.
marketing and awareness and all that jazz, it's cash flow.
Exactly, yeah. So then can you then fund operations for a year based on with that money? And they can easily can. Well, I don't know the overhead, so I'm probably speaking out of turn here. But I mean, that would be like the ideal perspective where you've got so much demand, so little actual supply. Because I mean, think of they've only got 750 team entries, 1,500 riders. It sounds like a lot, but it sells out in a couple of hours. So imagine they left avenues open for a month, and they just saw how many numbers they would get. It would be insane numbers. It would be ridiculous. So I mean, that's the position where you want to be in, where you can. And now we're actually seeing that with a few of our events, and it's so incredible to see like where we were at one stage having to like beg and plead people to, hey, please come ride our event. Like it's that 3 Fs, which I like hate. It's like friends, fools, and family. Like those were the people who were coming and doing these events, and it like drove me crazy.
I haven't heard the 3 Fs before.
And maybe it was like a pride thing that I was like, yes, well, like, do we even have a product yet? Like so many
Yeah.
emails I've written to my dad, like subject line, is this worth it? And then start like 1,000 flipping words, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Oh, shit.
And now you get to a point.
What did he respond to those normally?
No.
Didn't see it, went to spam.
Literally, like, what are you talking about, bro? Come on, let's get going here. No, it was always good chats, and I mean, he's been around the block. I mean, he was one of the guys who founded Mnet in the day. So like he's been there, and he's been through like, and Mnet was also like, it's a great story now, but it wasn't that easy in the beginning. There was big problems. There was lots of big business dramas happening. Lots of times I was on a knife edge between going left or right and not like staying in place.
You've got to get your dad in the chair.
Yeah, and he'd be great, 100%.
Founder of Mnet, that is
No,
badass.
so not one. So he was one of the founders, and more on the super sports side.
Okay.
So more on that side, yeah. So one of the first guys in the door at Mnet, and then one of the guys who helped start super sports. Yeah. But this was like
Obviously, doesn't mind a challenge.
years ago. No. And if you meet him, you'll realize like he's done Freedom Challenge. He's done like, I don't know, 12 Roof of Africas or whatever on the motorbike.
Damn.
That's
proper.
Done some big rides, yeah.
Okay.
There's still a bullet, like 65 years old, doesn't ride an e-bike. Like he'll ride the e-bikes off his wheel probably still. No, he's strong, yeah. No. So he's a weapon. And yeah, no, he was, I mean, like eternal optimist. But I mean, like I could also see like it was taking shots. But also when this is it, like you need to make a plan. And you've got staff as well. Like he could have just pulled a plug, got some investments. Oaks, we're just going to stop doing this and not have it anymore. But I think it was a real like passion for him. He loved it, and we've got such good mates who we've now met through the whole industry. And often, I mean, one of them, David Hartley, who we actually now work out of his office space in Montague Gardens there. He said he went on an event with my dad in the beginning, and I think it was, I don't know when it was, maybe like 1980 or whatever. He said it was $2,000 for the weekend. It was 4 nights of accommodation, all the meals, bike rental included, all the beers, all the food you could want. And he was like, he looked at it at the end when he saw like a pile of 50 beer cans next to everybody, and he was like, how is Mike making money off of this? And he definitely wasn't. It was just like a fun thing he just loved doing. He just had a big passion for it. And so I think I've had to come in with a bit of it's great, let's make this a fun thing, but this also needs to be sustainable. We need to have a way that we can like be profitable, have the right sponsors in here, have the right...
I'm glad you brought the S word in, because is it possible to be a profitable events company without sponsors?
No. Because like what you would pay for like an entry, and I mean you can even use say Epic as an example. Maybe that's a bad example. Use like Sani to see, for instance. People look at it and they're like, oh, $20,000 for an entry, that is ridiculous. That is so expensive. But then once you start doing all the sums of like, you've got your medics, you've got this massive logistics crew, just moving one staff member from their house, wherever they live, to the event site, paying for their crew merchandise, paying for their accommodation, paying them a salary, training them up. That you've just got one staff member. You probably need like 70 for an event like that, like just for each
It's a
event.
huge operation.
That's massive. I mean, we know like on PE Plets, I mean, our cost of sale is like, it's like over 2 million rand for 4 days. It's just because that's just what you're spending. And so, no, like if you didn't have sponsors getting involved, there's no ways that there would be the event caliber that we have in this country. Not a chance. You can, and because you can't, because people always play that same stupid rebuttal of, oh, but I can go ride there anytime. Like, Brethren, please, be my guest, go for it. Like, but we can't afford to host an event at that price, and all this effort that goes into it, like all the thousands you spend on Facebook ads, the thousands you spend on media teams to be able to shoot the event and showcase it. Like, I mean, just what you pay like photographers and stuff to be at your events, and they're invaluable. You can't do it without them. But those costs will simply never be able to be carried by just straight entry fees.
I suppose the reason we enjoy telling these stories is you don't necessarily think of those things. It's easy to just sit there and say, so I look at those Wine to Wales and I'm like, yeah, I can't rationally bring myself to spend that for 3 days of mountain biking. And then my wife and I sit and we talk about the ones that we've done. We were fortunate enough to get 2 of them on the house by absolute fluke. Mate of mine worked at DHL. He entered with his wife. Like, they do, what's that place in Belito that you can go and ride around on the tracks there? Like, he's like 20k loops or whatever.
Okay. Not sure.
The name will come to me. Anyway, and you know, DHL's doing this, it extends to their staff. He's like, yo, let's go and do this thing, buy a bike and like kind of train for it. Same guy that I've done.
He's just doing Wines to Wales now.
Yeah. And his name's Jared. Fucking legend. He's game for anything. And we've done way back when, which now that I think about it, I can remember it too. It's on the motorbike side. We were the oaks that would convince each other over beers to go and buy 2-stroke 250s.
Yeah, great.
NX bikes, weight the flywheel and go and try and train for roof. Like, we just
go
game
find
for
some
anything.
rocks in Cribbo, yeah. Let's go do it.
And when we did a lot of that stupid stuff, I'd done quite a bit of, I was in my full velocity bicycle rabbit hole and had done a bit of like serious mountain biking. I was like, Jared, this thing's fucking serious. Like, this isn't play. Really, like, this is a big deal. You're not going to just like get on a bike after a few rides, and especially your wife, like, you might want to check that training. And I was like, a month later, he's like, Davi, Mesh is out. I need you to be my teammate. Cool, bro. In. Day before, like days before, the week of, it's like the Tuesday, the event's that weekend. Davi, you need to find a teammate. I just haven't had a chance. Like, the guy works fucking hard. Can't do it. Like, you need to find a teammate. I'm like, love, you're in. Like, you. Yeah. I'd done Sonny to see with her. I'd done
okay, so she had
Bergen
some prep,
Bush.
yeah.
So, like, and also I hadn't like trained, but she's done it. I'm like, I know she'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll box, but she'll be fine. She's not gonna like hurt herself. And anyway, the point of my story is like, look at the price points. I'm like, I can't justify that. That's crazy. And you said, you remember, like, I remember when we were sitting and we had those beers with Mark and Carl came over, and I remember when we this and remember. And it's like, fuck, that was sick.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you? 20 grand's a lot of money. I don't want to downplay that. Like, it does talk to specific segments. Yeah. But you can't put a price on those memories. 20 grand is for free. If you think about all the memories stacked into that 3 days, even the shit ones where we turned on each other, which we invariably always did. Yeah. And it's just like, that's what you're selling. You're not actually, for me at least, it's not, I'm not selling you that you can ride your mountain bike for 70 k's over Kif terrain, because you can do that anyway. Yeah. It's an experience that you're not going to get otherwise. Wine to Wales in particular has this fucking vibe.
And you can't reproduce that, No, for sure.
And I say Wine to Wales because that's one that I've done. I'm sure I'd love to do PET Plets at some point, and I'm sure there's a similar thing baked into that, where there's this, it's the experience, it's the memories, it's the people you meet, all combined together. It's not about you paying me to ride from A to B.
Yeah, exactly, You can go ride the same route. I mean, you can go ride the Wines to Wales route if you really wanted to, but it's not going to be nearly the same experience that you're going to experience.
Kif route, you'll enjoy it. You'll still swear walking up that part that you can't ride.
100%, No, so from from that perspective, I mean, obviously, like they've got that also utopia now where they've got 3 back-to-back. Same as like what Sani does. They've got those back-to-back events. And that then, yes, maybe even without a sponsor,
Years of building.
you can then possibly still make money even without a sponsor. Sponsor is
The
generally
irony
top.
is obviously it's so successful, you always got a sponsor.
Exactly, yeah. So then that's kind of that snowball that
Yeah.
then you need to roll it yourself. But eventually, hopefully, this thing becomes big enough that over those little hills that this thing needs to get to make it down this long slope, it can carry the speed.
Get the
So when you do
momentum, yeah.
lose a bit of maybe sponsorship or whatever, you still got the momentum from the public to then keep it rolling, and hopefully somebody else jumps on board.
What are the downsides of a sponsor? I'm very keen to talk about the upsides, and I'm sure M&G RC is, I'm staring
Yeah.
at their logo now. I'd love to, I know you talk very freely and honestly, so I'm intrigued to
Yeah.
know like the actual intricacies of it, but there's got to be downsides.
No, of course. I mean, obviously, like, so you've only got like so many hours in a day, and you've got, so say you've got 6 different events, and you've got a big title sponsor for all 6 different events. You've now got 6 different marketing teams who you need to really show them that you care. Like, this can't just be like, okay, cool, pay me and come bring your flags. Like, that's a relationship that's not going to be sustainable. You need to really care for these people. So that does take a lot of time out of you to make sure that you can deliver them a return that they can really see tangibly. You're dealing with a lot of people in these organizations. There's lots of levels to it. There's obviously the lower guys who kind of just handle with a bit of the branding and they do all the counts and stuff.
Ops.
And then you go all the way up to like the head of marketing, who's the person who's then really making this decision on do we continue with the sponsorship? Do we sign another 3-year deal?
Yeah.
And those are kind of all the relationships that you really need to manage really well.
Time's a big part of it.
Yeah, so and it really just does suck up your time because you having to maybe explain yourself 3 times to 3 different people and give them all as much of your time as you can, and then do that for 6 different companies that all kind of have their own chain of command and make sure that you're all hitting them enough. And then you also, sometimes you feel bad. You're like, Christ, it's like we're going to send these folks an invoice. Have we done enough work for them? Is the event going to be successful? Are the people going to rock up? Like, is it going to rain? like, is it going to be fun? Are the routes going to be good? Like
Standard.
is
Okay,
it
so
all-
you go through all that
is
whole
it-
roller coaster.
Yeah, so is it going to be worth it for these guys? And I mean, lots of these like relationships and how you meet these people. I mean, lots of these sponsorships. It's all through relationships. So it's all like, and then you really care about these guys because they're not doing this for you really. They're doing this to get a return. And if they don't get a return, it's not going to necessarily be their job on the line, but it's not going to look good for them. If our guy we deal with at M&G has to go and tell his team, hey, Oaks, listen, people, let's cancel this year because they didn't get enough entries. Oh, like that would be, and that's a realistic
worst case
thing.
scenario.
That is something that can happen.
Yeah.
Like that happens to events. They cancel because they don't get enough entries. It happened to a couple of events last year. None of ours, luckily, we're blessed that we have this incredible clientele that keep coming back. They enjoy what we do. They love the fact that we're there and on event and doing it. But yeah, I mean, sponsors do obviously come with their own needs and their own requirements, and getting them onboarded and making them understand and making sure that like you also meet like on a certain level, like, and there's an agreement of minds or a consensus of minds. Like it's the
How difficult is it to, I suppose that like fundamentally for it to be successful, you have to interpret and understand what value looks like to them.
exactly
Which
yeah.
may not be that the event sells out. It may be that, I don't know, people there have a deep, meaningful connection with the purpose behind the ride, or they, you know, I suppose very seldomly seeing a lot of banks and financial services guys involved in these big events, it's probably not all that often that they actually even get like a direct sale where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, M&G Investments sponsor event, or like Old Mutual Double Century. I had Farad on the podcast last year, so I got to ask him some of these questions. Like, you are the title sponsor for this event. Why?
Yeah, what do you
And
know?
it's just so interesting to hear, because it's easy to wax lyrical and talk bullshit, and you can hear when someone's talking bullshit. But when there's a genuine, his personal experience of how transformative cycling can be for you in all aspects, like, you know, it gets philanthropic, it gets emotional, and understanding that and wanting to extend that experience and almost guarantee it through their involvement as a title sponsor
Yeah.
is such a big deal to him. And I was seriously fucking moved by that.
Yeah, and that's
like
incredible.
if we have
yeah.
some engagements and if we close some deals and if, like all those things are
Cool.
obvious, like, yeah.
It's like
But
that's
he
like
is
secondary for
deep,
him. Though.
like what value, now if someone was sitting there that isn't a business owner, that's gone through shit, that has a bit of acumen, and is sitting there like really trying to stand, M&G, like what does value seriously look like? Obviously there's KPIs and there's tick boxes and there's vanity metrics, but like what does it really look like? Is that fair to say that like is fundamental to what you've got to do, and how easy is that to understand when you're dealing with 6 corporates, or is it generally quite obvious?
I mean, it's obviously they're looking for the I suppose there's pre, during, and post. They're looking for like really good. I mean, and this is probably a question that always does like weigh made, like, are we doing enough? Are we getting them a return? And sometimes you don't know until the rug is pulled from underneath you and say, listen, we're not going to renew. We actually want to terminate the contract. It doesn't happen very often. But yeah, I mean, there are moments where you just fall short, unfortunately, and it is like a real concern that does weigh on you the whole time. Like, are we doing enough? Like, we are asking for so much, and for us, it's a lot. For them, maybe it's not a lot. But I just know where we came from at COVID, where like this is huge. If we lose this, we're done. Boop, see ya. Like, and if we didn't get M&G, and I think they joined us in 2019. If they didn't join then and then continue for the last 9 years, we wouldn't.
They actually pre-COVID.
They were just pre-COVID. They were 2019.
Oh, mad.
So my very first year, they were there, and we didn't miss a PE plate. We managed to get it just before COVID in 2020. It happened in Feb. COVID happened in March. Whole lockdown, and then we were the first event to open up in 2021. The only event to happen in that first half of the year. Like, there was a whole like easing in January. We went down to like level 3 or whatever, and then suddenly we could do the events again.
Made sure.
And I mean, yeah, we had to COVID test everybody at the event, so like massive cost. But we knew like if this thing can't run and we lose him as a sponsor, like we're done as a business.
What was communication like with them throughout that? I'm guessing they're super solid partners.
They were incredible. Like, they were next level, and I mean,
see, these are the stories you love to hear.
Like, I mean, and they were like, and I mean, Grayson Rainier, who was the marketing manager there, like me and him are such good friends now. Like, flippin' legend of a guy. I will drive anywhere to go and help him out with whatever. And I mean, Mark Pretorius, the guy who's there now, also solid guy. No, like beautiful people. Like, and I'm not just saying that because they pay us money. Like, genuinely, like they could stop tomorrow and I would still give them hugs and say, guys, for the last 9 years, it's been absolutely next level.
Well, it says a lot to have gone through that.
And they supported us when we were down, when we were up. They were never like demanding. They were the flippin' dream.
More a partner than a sponsor.
100%. Yeah, like I mean, we actually wrote an article that I think we're sending it out today. It's called More Than a Sponsor. And it's all about like what M&G have done. And now they've also, and it's becoming a bit of a plug for them, but they've got so deeply invested in the community in Plet now. So we get our, so we give 20,000 Rand each year from the bikes washes that we get, and we donate that to Kwano Bicycle Academy, which is this beautiful initiative that happens in Plet that supports all these young kids who want to ride bicycles and want to get an education. It really supports them on their needs going through. And then I think M&G saw this one year, maybe when Grayson was still there, or when Mark took over, whenever it was, doesn't really matter. They then saw this and they were like, yes, this is a great initiative to get behind. And I think the first year they gave them like 270,000 Rand. And like that, really like that.
That's mad.
Changes kids' lives. Like
literally.
Like, and that was part of their CSI thing, and they didn't even want us to talk about it. They're like, no, because that's just a CSI thing. We don't want to get publicity out of it. It must just be a goodwill, incredible thing that's happening in the community here. We want to be involved there. And like, and like that sort of like, that then goes like beyond like what we can deliver them through wearing branded merch on a podcast.
Yeah, sure.
And like that's so far beyond the commercial. Becomes like it's just real, and those are the partners that we really like try and aim for. And so even in all of our contracts, like, I always tell the guys, listen, we're going to sign a contract now, but if you ever want out, please, I'm not going to enforce this thing. Like, if you think this isn't the right fit for your brand, I'm not going to get into a whole lawyer's battle over this. Like, A, you're much bigger than me, you're going to crush me. and B, I don't really want to hold a partner hostage. Like, I don't want to say, no, you've signed this, you need to be here. Like, it'll never be the case. And if we're not delivering on what we set out to do, then I want to know. And then and then I want you to...
So I got to know what value is, because what does delivering mean? That becomes this, like, it's fundamental. And when you know what that is, and it's, I suppose, the real point you're making, and it's interesting, it's like tapping more into like marketing legacy insights. But we live in a world of immediate consumption, instant gratification, where people are just like, it's now all the time. So if you look at social media, to make a difference, for anything to be meaningful, it has to be constant. There's no such thing as a viral piece of content. Like, there's one or two. At best, it's going to give you like a week of mileage out of it, which we spoke about it on that video call. It's like, but nothing stands the test of time. The platform itself is designed to deprioritize anything of a day, 2 days, 3 days. It's gone. So this really insightful, beautiful thing that happened on Monday, and you put it online, hoping it reaches the world and connects with people. It's fucking gone on Wednesday.
It's your mum and your wife that like it.
No, algorithmically, it's buried to promote new and constant. And that's largely the world we live in. We humans, we haven't evolved all that much in the time you and I have been alive, and our parents and. The world around us has evolved tremendously. I mean, Elon's pumping rockets up and down into space like it's for fun these days. You've got AI, doing things in a second people can't do over a year. Like, everything is sped up around. And the problem that happens is it starts to subconsciously adjust fundamentally the way that you see things. Everything. That's why people are so fucking enraged when you spend 1 second behind a cyclist. Like, makes no sense. Like, you stop at the same robot, but it's like everything becomes supercharged now. And that also, I've seen, that can flow into big marketing decisions. People will say, we're going to, as a big brand, whatever it may be, it can be, the QSR segment, the finance segment, it could be engineering, like whatever it is. Like, the best marketing teams understand time. There is no replacement for consistency in time. Not 30,000 posts every day, although that will also work. It will give you brand recall. It's continuity. So if we're going to get involved with company ABC on events ABC, 1 year, like if it's a 2-year contract, even if it's a 3-year contract, like, what is that?
To see a return,
You have to go long.
You
have to go deep. And over that, I mean, think if you've got someone that came and did, you see these guys at, Cycle to, I still call it the Argus. You see these guys at Wine to Wells. You see these Oaks Epics. Talk to people that are on their 8th epic, 9th epic, 10th epic, 5th epic, whatever it is. That human being, at the time that they started to where they are, may have been from student to, CA, to director, to CFO. They go on a journey. Now, if on that journey, M&G Investments, when I'm 25 and I've got nothing in my bank account and I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I'm not adding any value. But in 10 years' time, when hopefully our podcast has shot the lights out and we're making a killer income,
got that thirsty
and
contract.
I've got some bucks you're going to invest, like, it stands to reason at that point something could materialize. And like, by then, there will be brand recall. Areas that you're in, when they see that event there, it becomes, it really embeds. So you have to have this like long-term view. And then the flip side of that coin, and we talk about this often, is consumers are all too quick. And I say this as a consumer of bike products, of biking events, of media channels you might be subscribed to, whatever the case is. What you're certainly telling, and I'm sure you'll be scraping just the surface, is how deep and complex and onerous the process is of just putting on a 1 or 2 or 3 day event. It's serious. There's major risk.
Next level.
People's lives on the line. Loads of them, not just the owners, everyone connected. Brands are taking big risks to be involved in things. And then it's like, I missed a marking, I didn't get a turn, I went left, or it was hot, or it was rain. It's like, brew. One, be grateful that we have events, and that's the thing I want to ask you, how do our events stack up globally? Because I've done 1 or 2, and I think they're ridiculous. I think we're so above average. South Africans don't all have that context. And 2, support the brands that are supporting the hobby that you love. And I really mean that. When it's difficult if there's lots of different investment companies involved in lots of different cycling. that becomes trickier. But if M&G Investments is putting their money where their mouth is, putting the investment into something that you have, and you've got money and you're going to invest it, like, seriously consider them.
Yeah, 100%.
If there's a guy that's, we had the guys are from Infinity Cycles, one of them has a car dealership. Like, I don't know anyone else in my community that has, a car dealership. So when I was recently looking at a car, WhatsApped him. I'm like, for no reason other than you're in the community, you're doing your part. Like, they
cool.
committed.
I want to support you. Yeah.
They come 100%. Like,
Yeah.
keep it. Like,
Yeah,
just support
100%.
the people
Yeah.
that are doing the thing.
Yeah.
Don't just go outside of it. And I'm not saying make every decision based on every sponsor that's involved in everything, but where you can see people are doing this and are putting their money where their mouth is and really enabling events, like, put them in the consideration process of whatever that is.
Yeah. Because these events don't happen without these guys. Like, Old Mutual.
But you have to connect those emotions to people. It's like M&G isn't there because they've got a ATM at the end where they collect your money.
No, exactly.
Like, they're playing a long game. They're not getting this direct return where it's money in and money out in it. It's also not money that they don't care about. Like, they'll feel that money when they're paying it. For sure they will.
Yeah, it affects their budget.
The least you can do is put them in your consideration phase. And it's just, if people just switch that on, and when they do and they talk to those people, you say, hey, listen, whether or not I'll end up, buying one of your products, investing with you, banking with you, eating at your restaurant, like, even if it was like Nando's sponsored something and you went into that casa and you went and you ordered, tell the waiter there because you're a cyclist and you know that they sponsor something. I'm not saying that that's them, but like, if people just start doing that, the amount of favors we'd be doing to the people taking these risks, bringing these events, would blow your mind, because they all have the same thing. Like, how do I know?
Where's my return?
How do I know? Because no one's going there and raving about it and saying anything, but people also don't know otherwise, which is why we have these conversations and you talk about these things. Like, just think a little bit outside of the bubble of me, myself, and I, my universe, and think like, shit, how can I add value? I want to see more quality events.
I want to go to more. I want maybe the price to become a bit cheaper, and price can become a bit cheaper.
I'm going to mention it to them
if these big sponsors do get involved.
That was a whole mouthful there, but I think, and it's difficult for you to say that because you're involved in this thing, it's your sponsor, but it's important to have third parties weighing in on this, and it's important for people to just think, even within their own community, and it doesn't even need to be an event. If you're riding with the same squad every week, like, take a bit of time and know what the other people there do. And but that's, I think, is the whole thing behind cycling, why we all love cycling. It's because you never know who you're going to meet on this next group ride. You never know who you might be riding next to and have a conversation with, and suddenly this oak might be able to like completely change your life now. And that's probably like a similar case with our event Weekend Warrior, the one which I spoke to you about yesterday. That's an event where like we've been running it now for 7 years in the Western Cape, so all the time from Hobo. We've had different venues out in Worcester. I hosted one in Worcester in 2022. I think I got 54 people to come and ride for 2 days, and I couldn't possibly tell you the amount of times that I was on my phone on the Entry Ninja back office clicking refresh and just praying that there would be more people coming. But I think we ended on 54 people. And if you know that you're going to lose proper money on that. Like, proper money for us in 2021 to be losing 80 grand in an event, that's just cost of sale. That's let alone operating costs put into everything
that.
Else.
So you've lost now properly. And I was looking at this being like, this is like we're done. And you can always remember my dad being like the most calm, like, it's fine, we're gonna do it, we're gonna sort it out. Then my mom actually said to me the one time, because family businesses, they've always been like, everyone's involved. My sister is also involved a bit.
That dinner table must be lit.
And my mom gave me the best piece of advice, and I still remember it to this day. And she's like, Shaun, you might only have 54 people coming, but make it the best possible event for those 54 people that you can do. And like, that was true words and even spoken. I was like, that's so true. I've got 54 people coming here, and they need to have the best experience. And obviously,
parted with the cash, you can't change it, so just go all in and
just need to like bite the bullet and double down and pull off something epic. And it was fantastic. The reviews was fantastic. That's actually how we got Cycle Lab involved. It's because Oki Vermeulen, the previous manager of Cycle Lab, he came to the event. He loved it. He was one of 54 people, and now 8 years later, they're fully invested in it. And to then go from like that sort of state where we're in Worcester now, there's fucking no one there. It's just us, like grasses. And And then to get to a point like last year where I was, where we had hosted a very successful one in Hobo, like almost 400 people. And then actually, sorry, to backtrack a little bit, the very first event I tried to run for Red Cherry, I was second year varsity. I said, cool, I'm going to get involved in business. I want to host an event in Stellenbosch. I studied in Stellies. I raced road bikes in Stellenbosch, actually. Me and Max Sullivan, we were on the Mad Max team together on the road.
Oh, were you in that makeup?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I was with Alex.
Good to know. I remember
Alex,
that part of your story.
I know Alex well. Yeah, so me and Max raced. That's how I met Max. And then so me and Max raced for Mad Max together with Jonathan Gesselian and Aldo van
Max the
Ponda.
goat.
Yeah, I used to be quite a weapon on a road bike.
Oh.
You might not look it now, but I'll give him a couple laps on Kalani. He'll still sprint me Murtu. But no, so I mean, that was actually a week in Warrior in Stellenbosch was actually kind of the first event that I wanted to do. And I always remember like writing this whole nice email to Candace at Marty's and CCing the other Marty's person in and just getting this reply like 40 grand a day, like 15 grand setup days.
Yeah.
So like dream gone, dead in the water. And I mean, and those are like almost like small numbers. Well, no, they're still big numbers now. I still would try to negotiate around those. But then like last year, we managed to host an incredible event at Devonbosch in Stellenbosch, a Weekend Warrior Stellenbosch. First time we had done it there. And I remember like driving home after that event and being like, shit, Shaun, well done. Like that was 8 years in the making. Only took you 8 years to get there. From the first email that crushed you, that said like, fucking no chance.
Yeah.
Not going to do it here. Being like despondent, like, oh, it's done. Like, we'll just stay with our PE Weekend Warrior that no one comes to. And then now, 8 years later, pulled off this beautiful one with like, we had Isuzu involved and Westval and all these other great sponsors like Rudy and Escape Gear and Peninsula Power Products. I could just keep naming these guys. And then just be like, yes, you're so blessed, actually.
Yeah.
Like everything you've gone through has just actually prepped you for that.
Yeah.
Like prepped you to be able to pull this off. Because without that whole COVID struggle being so scrappy, I would have just been this ungrateful, like not rich kid, but like well-off, comfortable kid.
Yeah.
There was no reason to really step up and be like, oh, we need to be urgent here.
Yeah,
so that was like super cool. And then, I mean, just going back to last year, you never know who you're going to meet. We were having a chat at one of our events. It's called CGC, a motorbike event. And I won't mention the guy's name, but we were sitting around chatting, drinking a few brandy and cokes as you do after a motorbike ride. You're not cycling now, so you're drinking because you drink because it's motorbikes.
Yeah.
You don't need like to worry about
no need
your
to
HRV
explain.
status and whatever. Like it's going to be fine. You're on a 300, you're going to be cool. And then we're sitting around and then we're sitting around chatting at this table, and then he just mentioned, he's involved in the whole investment game. If we have an event, we must let him know if we're looking for like a partner or whatever. I mean, obviously, I've heard this before a million times. Like we're sitting having brandies, oaks are all like, I'll sort you out. Obviously, then we go and
That's such a barking thing, the brandies.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it.
And Coke Zero though, we keep it
obviously,
we keep it lean. And then I go and I then email him afterwards, and then I mean from that conversation, then actually led to this whole Sasfin deal. So he's quite high up at Sasfin, and then it led to this whole 3-year partnership with. You never know who you're going to meet, just by having a little drink and talking to this great guy who you didn't know who he was, and suddenly it's now actually leveled up into this incredible opportunity where you can take that brand, which was getting only 50 people at an event now, to getting almost 500 last year, to now locking in a 3-year corporate sponsored title sport headline sponsor deal for 3 years, just based on a conversation that you had that you actually actioned as well.
Yeah.
But he said, like, send me something. I'm sure so many people like hear this and they just do nothing with it.
Yeah.
But because I was like, I need this because Weekend Warrior isn't growing. It's like, we got 400 people, but as we mentioned earlier, without a big sponsor, you don't make any money.
Yeah.
You just cover your costs.
This gives you some
some
breathing room and to do more.
And gives you wiggle room to play with. Like if we want to then get you guys to come and do a podcast, cool, we've got some budget to do that because friends, fools and family. Like I don't just want to rely on friends the whole time to just give me stuff.
I don't know who these fools are. I feel like I've been the fool once or twice.
You never know. You could be either of the F, bro. You could be any one of them. Hey? So and
normally a far worse word starting with an F associated.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like I hate like having to say like, oh, bro, like I really want to have this person here and that value add there, but we just can't afford it. Like it just doesn't work. But now we can actually look at it and be like, okay, if the outcome is what you said it can be and the return can be that, then flip. Let's give it a go. like we've now got the capacity to do that.
It's amazing.
And
And
to-
they'll just win, obviously, as that grows and does better.
And it probably will work really well, and your return will probably be 2 or 3 times what you put in.
Yeah.
And so then that snowball is just going to start just running,
Uh,
which is such a cool position to like finally be close to, or like seeing, not just that these subject emails, is this worth it? Like the whole time, like crisis.
that might be the title of this YouTube video.
Yeah, is it worth it? yeah, you never know. Yeah, so that's been such a kiff transition to go through that. And I mean, like I'm only 30 years old, but like also like we still trying to do so much. Like we've got such a kiff team here who are like I wish I could just like pay them more and like get them more gear, get them more like time off and have a better structure. And they're all so committed and so involved. Like the One Oak like crisis, like he was brought on as a marketing intern last year. Jeepers, the Soak was building tents and setting up showers and also doing social media and then video but all the Oaks just step up, and I think they just like, I don't know, they obviously maybe have a similar energy to me and they're just keen on it as well, and it's so incredible when you get a cool team around you. And I could really see it, like it killed my dad when we had to like obviously retrench staff in 2020 when you've got everything cancelled for like 18 months. You can't do anything. It sucks to have to let go of your team. And then now to like rebuild that team up is also so hard. But you're in such a cool position now to be able to.
Have you read the book by Jim Collins, Good to Great?
No, I haven't,
Do yourself a favor. It's,
I've actually read a few books. You've asked me 2 now that I haven't read, which I'm like, oh, awkward. How cool would it be?
Number one is, I mean, I say that like I'm this avid reader.
Good
I
to
pretty
Great.
much just read that one every year in December.
Okay, I should read that. Good to Great.
Yeah, it's I actually mentioned it earlier when I was chatting to Nick. A key part of it, I mean, I literally read it every year, and it's my like refresh. It's one of those books, no matter how many times you read it, you get something else out every time. It's just it's so brilliant. The broad-based storyline is they go and they assess based on it took them 15 years to put this book together because it's like so data-led. There's so much analysis and just figuring out how they create standards for assessing things that all these people could agree on in this book, which basically assesses using listed companies because it's publicly available data, so they can actually rely on what they're seeing. What creates the difference between good and great companies? Think Yahoo, Google. Think Amazon and eBay as an example. And anyway, I can't paraphrase the whole book, but one of the key things, no surprise, is people. And he talks critically about the right people is what like most critical part of a business. Aren't motivated by money. They aren't motivated by all these gimmicky KPIs and all this dumb shit that you come up with. And he talks more about making sure that how do you not demotivate people rather than worrying about how you motivate them. And it's, there's just gold in every page of that book.
I should read this.
It's phenomenal. I've got it on audiobook now, and if I'm not listening to anything particularly vibey on the YouTube music stream,
chuck that on,
Just like,
it's on Audible,
on Audible, Like if you get that free credit every month, it's a no-brainer.
I must do that.
And sometimes you'll just get to chapter 4 and be like, cool, I got what I need, and off you go. Anyway, great read for anyone else also watching this.
Have you ever, also going back onto reads, have you ever listened to the podcast How I Built This? Guy Raz, incredible. So all these podcasts with founders.
Alec may actually have suggested that. That's been recommended to me. That's the
so
second time
good.
in a week now.
It's got like Strava on there, recapture. You can tell the story in recapture. It's next level, okay? We're going off track here.
It's actually true, like we're not even,
Brew.
it must be, what is that worth? It must be like hundreds of millions.
Okay, well, just to give a bit of context, I'm stealing from the Guy Raz and How I Built This. But so how recapture, you want to know how they made money. So you always had those, you had to type in these random letters, like K, Z, Y, X. So you know what that is from. So what they were doing was, initially they were making just random letters, using a computer to generate random little letters. And they realized that they were wasting human hours, thousands of human hours every day, just on generating these random just on verifying these letters. So then what they realized that they could do is, there were these companies that were transcribing newspapers, very old newspapers, like the New York Times from 1800 and whenever it started, to make sure that it's all digital and there's a backup of it, so we've got all the news. So they thought, wait, listen, we can take photos of the pages and grab letters from each little point, and if we give 10 people the same grouping of letters, and they all say that it's X, Z, Y, R, we know with a very high degree of certainty that those pictured letters are XZYR. So they could suddenly start transcribing newspapers. And it was just like, how smart is this
that's
bro?
ridiculous.
Like, come on, bro, you are just cheating. Whoever you
Yeah.
are, you're cheating life. Like, you are. When I heard that, I stopped the car.
that's
I was
ridiculous.
Like, it's okay, I'm so inadequate.
That's like 20 milligrams of shrooms running through the forest kind of epiphany that you
Yeah,
arrive at.
how?
That is not something you just...
Yeah, no, not something you come up with. I mean, he
What?
turned down an offer from Bill Gates to go work at Microsoft, so he was pretty smart.
Damn.
Yeah, but like, how cool.
I never knew that
Yeah,
at all.
so very
Okay.
cool. Next time you typing in that thing, it's not random. You're actually transcribing
Yeah.
something somewhere.
They get
There's-
quite complex.
There's like value add in that, which is so sick. And it's so cool to then see, okay, like, so now I always look at it like, what random tasks are we doing every day that
Yeah.
you could like, or what are people wasting time on, that you could like actually use this as a viable solution in
Yeah.
humanity. So then
Yeah.
there's so many like that.
That's
like,
a crazy perspective.
like what are you wasting your time on that could be into something useful for the population.
Chelsea.
Yeah, interesting.
Dropping wisdom here.
Yeah, I know. Well, I haven't figured it out yet. So if anybody knows, let me know. I'll maybe try partner. Yeah. Reach out, active Hobo. Yeah.
So I wanted, one thing I definitely want to talk about is this. We nearly got into it. So Brayhard and Alec always make sure, like, don't have this passage banter over here, because then you lose it for the podcast. Like,
Okay.
So just keep quiet. It's almost like, why is Dave so weird when you walk in there? Like, I don't want to talk about anything. You like, sit in the chair and it's like, well, I have the two Gestapo back there that make sure that I may not speak, and this flight attendant thing got me. So I want to talk about that. But just in summary, I feel compelled to ask, what are some of the standout events people maybe want to know are coming up in the next 4 or 5 months? Like, what's the...
Yeah, so the first half of the year, obviously, this is a cycling podcast, so we'll stay with cycling. Our first event of the year is the shirt I'm wearing right now. It's the M&G Investments PE plate, and the socks I'm wearing. These are sample socks, so they didn't come out the way we thought. Thanks, Versus. But they made some great ones, though, so those did come out perfectly. So yeah, so it's the M&G Investments PE plate. It's the first one up. It's on the 19th to the 22nd of February. It got sold out last year, December time sometime, so 250 riders. Quite a small event, like small boutique event. 4 days, starting in St. Francis, finishing up in Nature's Valley. 3 days are transfer days, and the 1 day is like an out and back day. So it's day one from St. Francis to Asakhaibos, which is in Koredo, like close to Humansdorp. And then it's from Asakhaibos to Tsitsikamma Lodge and Spa. That's on day 2. Then it's out and back on day 3 from Tsitsikamma back to Tsitsikamma. And then it's day 3, it's Tsitsikamma to Nature's Valley, finishing up in Nature's Valley.
Magic.
So it's like 4 days.
Mountain bike?
All mountain biking, yeah.
Okay. Gravel, compatible, or real mountain bike?
If you're really gnarly, you could do it on gravel
Okay, so
bike.
mountain.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
There's going to be one section that Jason, I'll maybe send you the GoPro clip of Jason Bull coming down the downhill. Wouldn't want to take a gravel bike there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's our first one. That's our biggest event of the year. It's always nice that we hit it like kind of first in the beginning of the year. Then from there we go to, well, I go to Cape Epic on this bike. It's at the same time we've got an event called Rally Raid, which is a motorbike event happening in Hogsback. And the week after we've got an event, same weekend as Epic, in Hogsback called the Red Cherry Forest Boogie. Second year we're having it, we'll get about 100 people there. It's a 2-day mountain bike ride. It's not a race, just a ride around Hogsback. Ever been to Hogsback?
No.
Epic place. Like, you can see why Lord of the Rings was shot there. It's so mythical, it's magical.
Didn't even know Lord of the Rings was shot there.
So it wasn't shot there. I think it was inspired. It inspired the writer of it.
Tolkien.
So it inspired him on the whole mythical mountains of Hogsback. I think maybe some of it was shot there. It looks very Lord of the Ringsy, like very mythical. Like, think of lots of like mist coming in and rolling hills.
Okay.
Beautiful. So we'll get about 120 people for that ride, which is cool. Second time it's happening. Really not focused on the races though. It's not a race. Everyone's name's on the number board. It's just a social thing. Just go out and ride. 2-day stage ride rather. Then after that is Tour de Addo, very cool event, also sponsored by M&G Investments, whereas they actually donate to the park for that event. And that is, we take 30 people per ride. It's very exclusive. We build a whole glamping village inside the park. And we put up all temporary electric fence. We build it inside of Addo. It's with sand parks. So we like fence off a little piece of Addo at each camp. The one in March is in Darlington. The other one is at Inyati in August. And we basically do 3 days of riding or 3.5 days. The first day registration is like a very short ride. Then 3 days riding of about 50 Ks a day, all between the armed ranger vehicles, because we're in like big 5 territory here. There's buffalo and lions all around. So you never know what you're going to see. You aren't in a zoo. It's a big piece of area. But you get to ride through parts of the park that people can't even drive their cars, which is very, very special. And really, it definitely targets like the 50 to 70-year-old market. It's quite expensive, but I mean, it's an all-inclusive offering. It's everything. Once you arrive, there's no signal to buy anything, so it's all free. So that's then to the Addo, very cool. So we do 3 of those a year. 2 of them happen in back-to-back in Darlington. They're pretty much sold out. Then another one happens in Yati in August, also all inside the Elephant National Park. And the one in August we take 50 people because it's only a one weekend thing. We can't do back-to-back there. The guys don't allow it. Okay. So it's very exclusive. Then after that, what do we have? Then we've got Weekend Warrior, 2-day stage race in Hobo. So it's going to be called the Sasfin Wealth Weekend Warrior. They're actually going to be rebranding to Otto 1890, it's called. So Sasfin Wealth is becoming Otto 1890. This is the whole big campaign that we're going to be working on now, which will be pretty cool. So that's a 2-day stage race, really, really aimed at families. There's no other stage racing in the country or stage riding where you can enter as a family. Everything is quite expensive. It's all upper end. It's multi-days. So this is, I think, an adult weekend pass. If you wanted to come and ride for 2 days, it'd be 1,095 Rand to enter a 2-day stage race, which is pretty unheard of if you look at the price of other events. So we really see that lots of kids and families do come and take this on. It's also quite unique, the whole format. It's an afternoon start on Saturday because everyone works a full week. Guys are working, they're waking up early, they're being at work by 8 o'clock, they're getting home at 6. It's a full day. They don't also want to wake up at 4 on a Saturday morning to mission out to a stage race, to register by 6, to get them start on by 7. So we start at 12, which is quite nice. Gives the guys the morning to sort themselves out, get to registration by 9 o'clock.
That's bizarre.
Which is so bizarre. And people always mention, like, why do you do this? This is so weird. And they're like, just come and do it. Come and try. Come and try. So then
hang out with your family for a morning.
Yeah, and we'll bring the family like slowly. We'll bring all the kids with you. So there's a whole family center set up. If you want to leave your kids with child minders while you go and ride. So like all of that sort of thing is available. And then it's Saturday night sleepover. Some people do camp over there from the Friday night. Then it's Saturday night sleepover as well. And then Sunday morning is the second stage. So it's like a 2-day stage race packed into about 24 hours, which really gives your weekend like maximum go. Like, I mean, if you've been to a stage race, you'll probably know that if you start super early, you finish at like 11, what do you do the entire day? Kind of just like mope around.
Go get 17 bottles of Sound of Silence Pinot Noir.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. You're not going to feel so great the next day.
Not so much on a family weekend.
No, exactly. So we found that sort of thing does work pretty well for them. After that, we then got a charity event at Lawrenceford with the company I'm riding Epic with, so Hyperclear is a tech group I'm riding with the CEO. They're doing a charity event on, I think it's the 25th of April, something like that. So that'll be very cool. 100 people only allowed at Lawrenceford, where you can't even pay to go and ride. It's also a very exclusive kind of thing, which I'll be selling entries for. Then after that is Grab Jura, which I think you should come and do. That's the one in May, 31st of May. We also have an event before that for the kids called Grab Jura Kids, which is going to be just a cross-country style event on the Saturday, just to kind of get some more numbers there, give the kiddies a chance to also have a bit of a go.
What age for kids?
So it's starting from about 6 years old up until about 18. So it's pretty much the whole school, the whole school series basically. I think Grab Jura, pretty cool concept. It's a 87-kilometer loop finishing up Hansekorp, and there's 6 different time sections throughout the loop. So you aren't racing the whole way. It's like the most relaxed start you'd ever see. Like Marco Uber, and they just go and they just slowly take off. No big sprinting, because the first stage starts about 10 kilometers in. Super nice, gives you a chance to warm up. But then just once that stage goes, Oaks are firing. So it's we've got RFID boxes, so finish time. So we actually have more timing equipment there than they have at the Argus, just to time Grab Jura. So you must see the van that rocks up.
That's cool.
All of these things. So that's super cool, super stressful. I mean, that's super hard to get right, because you've got all these boxes that all need to be connected, they all need to have signal.
Yeah.
If one of them dies, your results are a shamble. So
Okay.
it's super, super stressful, that one, in terms of timing, because it is like, and you got 6 different stages really. So 6 different starts, 6 different finishes.
Yeah.
Super, super tricky. And then that kind of takes you up until
Innovative. That's cool.
end of May, yeah. And then we got other stuff. We got another weekend warrior in Stellenbosch at the end of the year, another tour to Addo.
You are busy.
And then some more, then some more motorbike stuff. And then we do the Sabrina Love Summer Challenge, sponsored by Discovery Vitality in Plet every year. We run it alongside Tony Lubner and his team from the Sabrina Love Foundation, and then we assist them with all the marketing for that, and then operations on event and all the media for that. So that takes us
organise like a social ride, and I'm panicked.
through December.
That is wild.
Yeah. So
How big is your team?
we've got 4 guys in Cape Town, and then 3 people in PE. Yeah. But I mean, then lots of like suppliers. Like I use Max a lot for.
Heart rate's
for
leveling
lots of
up
the
just listening to all these events.
Yeah, so there's lots, but I mean, once you've done it once, you can kind of do it again.
Streamline
and
it, get
Yeah,
efficient.
you become good at like run sheets. You really understand like logistics and when people need to go, and you debrief pretty soon after the last event to realize what you made a mistake with. Okay, adjust the run sheet already, so you know next year. Okay, cool. This is now the run sheet for this year. So that's always super cool, and we're also going into a bit of the content side. So a lot with Sabrina Love now. We're doing a lot of content for them, and then also for like brands like Orbea with Cycle Lab. They're big involved in our 3 primary events in Western Cape, so the 2 Weekend Warriors and the Grab Jura. Then they're also supporting us now on Epic with this incredible bike to go. Yeah, so we're riding.
Great segue to the bike. Thank you for navigating us there.
Yeah.
But before we do, good luck for those events.
Thank you.
To you, to your partners, to your come hell or high water, we'll figure out a way to be at one of them and try this format thing there.
100%.
But
make it work. Yeah.
good luck.
Thank you.
Sincerely, I hope you shoot the lights out and you reach that utopia. When
Yeah.
you do, let me know. Come back on the channel and tell me what that yacht life is like.
Oh, crisis. Yeah.
So wishing you guys the best.
Thank you. Yeah. No lacquer.
In terms of the bike, what can you tell me? I mean, I said to you earlier,
It's pretty good looking,
and it's important to be honest. I'm not Orbea's biggest fan, and I can't tell you why. It's just like, it's probably road bikes for me have become very boring, which is why like Factor 1, the Y1 RS, like the extreme stuff is appealing to me. But when this rolled in, I was like, that is maybe the best looking mountain bike I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean,
The color, this is spec to the nines.
color, the geometry. Okay, obviously the
You've
spec.
got
I mean,
R2D2 controlling your suspension.
You can't
so
really. I've been hacked by Elon a few times already. No,
Take me through it.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, obviously the main talking point is that flight attendant. And I mean, and the transmission. But so like flight attendants, as those of you who don't know, so the power meter connects to the rear shock and to the fork. So it all kind of talks to each other. So you can set your zones on the app. So you can say, I mean, your zone 1 would probably be like 400 watts. So you could set like 400 watts, make it, so no jokes. Okay, zone 1 would probably be like 150 watts. So you would then say be unlocked at 150 watts. But as soon as you start going over that threshold, go towards like the 150 to 250, from 250 to 300, then you can set that responsive rate to either be more efficient, to lock out, or to be more comfortable, to like not lock out, and to let the bike suspension work over all the bumps. Which, I mean, it sounds like it's not very, very useful, but for a 5-hour ride.
That's the thing. When you first telling me this, I'm like, nah, there's no way me controlling on and off, on the twist grip
requires that much mental strength.
It's impossible, but you swear by it. It's like
because
you can't go back.
I also was like, who's going to spend this amount of money on a fork? But as soon as you ride it, and as soon as you do like a 5-hour ride, and you're at the end of the 5-hour ride, and you've been at that moment where you've like been on normal suspension, where you have just a lockout on your wrist, which is easy to do. It's quick to unlock and relock. But you clap a rock because you're still locked out, or you start a downhill and you drop straight away because you have no traction because your suspension is still locked out. This, you just don't have to think.
Yeah.
You just pedal your bike, you just ride. And you just know that, and this thing is always going to be just responding.
It's scary. It's
So
almost like don't ride it, because then you know how good it is and you can't come back.
100%. Like already, I mean, and this isn't my bike. It's only going to be a loan bike for Epic basically. But already I've messaged my contact at Cape Cycles and be like, reserve me some site attendant. Because I'm like going to start saving already. Because once you ride it, you just realize that it's maybe not worth the price, but it's worth the hype.
It'll probably,
Sure.
I mean, if it takes off, pun intended, there's a good chance that will come down as cycling tech.
It will trickle down.
Does.
It will 100%. It will definitely trickle down.
Does that flight attendant work so well that you kind of don't get to feel what the rest of the thing does? I mean, the frame looks, I'm a visual.
Yeah, no,
person,
the
it
colorway
looks
and
fucking
it's got like raw, it's all raw finish look. I
Yeah.
think that's what's appealing to you.
Yeah.
That like raw carbon.
Man, it looks
And
good.
the top, and I mean, it's got like a bit of glitter into the frame as
That
well. So
bar
like,
and stem is super
they haven't
slick
played
as well.
around, and
Yeah.
the way the garments like integrate on top there.
Yeah.
There's just like I looked at this thing and I was like, we actually shot this video the other
Yeah.
day, and I was like, I was with my videographer guy Alex, and I was like, I feel like a child,
Yeah.
like who's just getting like his dream fulfilled.
Yeah.
Like I could, and please understand, I did not pay for this bike. I could not afford a 300,000 rand bicycle.
Does that where this would
I
be
think it's
pegged
about
at somewhere there?
250k. I think it's about 250 full
Okay.
retail,
And
brand
that's
new.
top end. I mean, there's nothing you
There's
can.
nothing else you can do. This is what Nino would race. This is what Marco and Tristan are riding, just on a specialized platform.
Yeah.
Everything else the same.
Oh.
I can't think. Maybe they've got a different dropper seat post, but that's the Fox Transfer SL dropper, which is like 13,000
Yeah.
rand if you buy the thing by itself. So I mean, absolutely epic bike. So I was actually chatting to one of my friends the other day, and I was like, how blessed am I to be in this position where I get to ride a bike like this, which I could never afford. I could never. We all know what. And
This is
maybe
1% of stuff.
it's not even just buying it. It's like also like running the thing. Like the
Yeah.
cassette's like 12 grand, and like just to be able
Yeah.
to have this bike, get to ride it at the Cape Epic.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
that's bucket
Like
list.
just really just like come on, like stop it. Like
Yeah.
and when I'm gonna wake up here? When's this
Yeah.
dream gonna get pulled out?
Yeah.
Like incredibly grateful. Like
Good for you.
that Cycle Lab have said, here's the bike that Mark II, my teammate from Hyperclear, has said, come, let's go ride. And we're not just riding for like ourselves or a result. We're riding for a very cool charity as well. So we're riding for the whole Bright Start charity, and it gives which is a so we've got 2 kids who are on the Bright Starts program with Ride for a Child and Hyperclear. And so we're basically raising money for them, and such a cool avenue for us to try and take our content to the next level. And so what can we do for a charity component now? How can we make the call to action
Yeah.
a give and gain link? Like how can we get this out there? And we're
Yeah.
not looking for money for ourselves. First time I'm actually going to people and saying, I don't want sponsorship. Like let's help these kids.
Yeah.
And that's such a cool thing to be able to, and such a cool time of my career that this opportunity has come up. Because if it was maybe last year, I'd have said, sorry, I can't do it. I need to keep the fires burning here. I need to make sure I can do enough work that I can get paid for, that I can keep paying salaries and not go back
Yeah,
into
yeah.
that hole again. But it's like it all kind of just like came out so organically, and it should be such a kiff segue into whatever else Red Cherry gets involved with.
Yeah.
And I'm so like lucky that it was us that were chosen to have to
Yeah.
do this. And now I guess I have to ride this bike at
Oh,
Epic.
damn it.
I don't know how I'm gonna survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got such a cool teammate. We got 3 teams. We got one team who's going to be going for maybe the amateur win. They will be pretty close to it. They're very strong. Shaun and Dwayne Hulley. Then me and Mark II, and then Donnie and Peter are our 3rd team. So we like kind
So
of
sick, man.
yeah.
That's
So
bucket list
like
stuff.
it's just like
Enjoy it,
next level.
soak it up.
And I'm like, why me kind of thing. But also
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll take this opportunity flat
Yeah.
out. Like
Yeah, but like a lot of guests we see in that seat, generally speaking, unbelievably all very modest and very not self-absorbed. The little bit that I know from 2 interactions with you, I'd say it's probably well earned.
yeah.
So go soak it up. I hope you get your 17 million batteries charged and have all your settings dialed
power
in.
bank,
I can see myself landing up, having a little stroll through Cycle Lab and maybe just peer over there and have a little gander.
Yeah, let me know. I can
That
sort you
is-
out.
I'll go and have a squiz. That's magic, but good luck for that.
Thank you so
I'll,
much. Yeah, no, looking forward to
If
it.
you can while you're there, I know it's still a little while away, you must send us little drop-ins, some
Yeah.
content. How you doing?
Yeah,
How things
perfect.
are
We're
going.
going to be shooting daily highlights. We're going to have a videographer on the event.
Please
so
tag us so we can
yeah,
repost them. We'd be
definitely.
lucky
Yeah,
to follow
100%.
that
Yeah,
story.
100%. Joe will definitely do that. And yeah, it's all about trying to like not push our own events this time. Which is so sick for us. Like we want to push this whole charity.
Actually, just go and focus on something else.
And yeah, this whole give and gain campaign as well. Like so like we're climbing mountains, because these other 2 kids who we're supporting are climbing mountains every single day. Like they're living in poverty. They've got very little support from their family to go and like fund their whole academic career. And that's what this whole ride is about, trying to support Presley, trying to support Fortune in their lives. And if we can't ride a bicycle for 80 Ks a day, like, come on, bro, how can we expect them to do what they're going to do? So like it's,
and you put it like that.
so it's like how can you quit? How can you not go and do your intervals when you have to?
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. Like that's not a good enough excuse. You can't say you're tired. You can't say you. It's just not enough. Like if they're doing what they're doing, come on, you don't have an excuse. And I think that's like super cool to be able to go and try and do this, and then to try and make something better for them. Like we've been given so much. Like,
give back.
How can we give back just a little bit? So we're trying to do this whole thing for them and just really just show them what we can do. Not from a financial perspective. This is purely like a goodwill. Like how
Please
can
keep
we
us posted on that if we
it's
can
going to be an incredible
amplify that in any
story.
way.
Yeah, it'll be so nice, and it's all about the give and gain link. All the money goes straight to them. It's nothing for us. We just want to really see what we can do. And there's also like I'd like to one day, I know I mentioned it, I'm looking at trying to do that whole Great Divide thing as well, and that'll be a similar concept. We want to try and push it for a charity component. And you've seen so many cool stories of Oaks who've started these big rides, idea to raise 10,000 Rand, lands up raising $1 million.
Yeah.
And like, imagine you can do that. And it's not for you, it's for a charity. I don't want to make it $1 million crisis. Like, it's not for that. And because that leaves you feeling so much more fulfilled than any money in your bank account does.
That's where all the purpose lies.
Yeah, and if you can get to that point in your career,
purpose is a far bigger driver than profits.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, you've got a lot of events to get to. An epic to train for, 2 kids to not let down whilst you're there.
Yeah.
Don't miss your intervals. I mean, that is proper self-emotional manipulation. I dig it.
Yeah, no, it's proper. And it's actually one of my mates said it to me the one time. He's like, how can I drop a Kalani when I've got 4 kids at home? Like, this isn't hard. Like I need to step up for them. Yeah. Which is cool. Yeah, it's good to have in the back of your head the whole time. Yeah.
Well, go crush all of it. Thank you so much for coming through. I know you got a lot on. Lots of
thank you
fires
for your
that you're
time
keeping
as well,
burning. So absolutely crush it. We will definitely see you at some events. I hope we've interested some of the audience here to go and have a gander. That family event, the Warrior.
The Weekend Warrior, yeah.
I'm very keen to go and explore that. I think that's a great concept.
Yeah, 80 kids under the age of 14 did it last year.
You said so, and that's ridiculous.
Doing a 2-day stage race. So it's a stepping stone for stage racing.
That's what you want to see. And those are the stories you also want to tell. Like, let's get that out there.
Yeah.
I think the 2 of us could chat for many hours to go, but this is us.
Lekker, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. G Lover, we will see you out there. Good luck.
It was amazing. Thank you. Lekker, shots.
Appreciate it.